problem. And then once you're done, we will just be announcing projects that we will be busy with. So if you're also interested in that, please let us know outside of this webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cecilia. Right, so basically the slideshow was going to show you guys that we're using scooters and three-wheelers for things like transporting people, transporting livestock, transporting even produce to the markets or to prospective buyers. Right, so but from that point on, I'm just going to continue and to say, let's think about what new jobs a green mobility shift needs. I think Cecilia has already said this, but I'm just going to go through them again, a couple. But it will start from something as simple as tire repairers, repair technicians, charging station installers, electricians, software experts, battery technicians, public transport planners, and renewable energy installers. Another important one is recycling workers, engineers, entrepreneurs, drivers, educators, and small businesses. Most of these jobs require skills that can be taught locally and used locally. So if you don't mind, if you can close your eyes for 1 second or for a minute and just imagine the next scenario. Imagine a town where young people can learn to install solar-powered charging stations and get trained to fix electric vehicles. Small businesses switch to cleaner vehicles that cost less to run. Public transport becomes safer, cleaner, and more efficient, and this will connect more people to jobs and opportunities. Okay, you can open your eyes now. It's just a scenario that where if all of these things are working, it can really lead to a better society as a whole. This is more than just helping the environment. This is changing the whole community. The green transition also gives us a chance to be more inclusive. During previous technical changes or technological changes, only a few benefited. Now if governments, schools, companies, and communities work together early, many ordinary people can join this new economy. It's not something that is in the distant future, but now. So sadly, this transition is not without challenges. Building the right infrastructure takes money. Training systems needs changes. Most communities still lack a reliable transport and energy infrastructure. However, these challenges should not stop us. In fact, big changes like this often brings the best chances because they require new ideas and teamwork. We already see countries investing in green industries. Businesses are creating sustainability teams. Universities are teaching renewable energy and electric mobility, just like Cecilia said. The startups are finding local solutions. Training centers like Chris now SA is teaching the physical, technical skills needed for us to make this a successful transition. The momentum is real. This means local innovation, local manufacturing, and local skills are key. True sustainability is not just about the environment, it's about building strong economies, fair societies, and supportive communities. The real success of green mobility will be measured on how many people find better jobs, how many businesses grow, how many communities get easier, cheaper transport, and how many feel included in the future. If we do this right, green mobility can be much more than saving the planet. It can be a powerful force for hope, opportunities, and economic renewal. So as we move forward, let's ask ourselves, how do we make sure communities are not just users in the new economy, but active contributors and winners, and that everybody gets a fair chance to participate? Let us prepare the young people for the jobs of tomorrow. Let us teach you about new energy vehicles and renewable energy sources for houses and charging infrastructure. Let us be your partner in the green mobility transition. And with that, I say thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone, and thank you to our presenters, and thank you to all who have joined. We truly appreciate this.